Hi, how are you? It's Kate here. Just coming to you quickly on what is UN's World Autism Awareness Day, but I'm calling it, and lots of people are calling it, World Autism Acceptance Day for 2021, just because we want to move the conversation forward in terms of from when the World Autism Awareness Day was sort of like officially recognised by the United Nations in 2008, and now we're really wanting to move the conversation forward in terms of saying we are aware that supports are needed. We're aware, most people are aware of what autism is. There's been huge growth in understanding over the past, 10, 15 years that I've been working in the area, and it's time to sort of be thinking about the neurodiverse voices and how they are now in the conversation, leading the conversation about what needs to happen in this space, and how the term World Autism Acceptance Day is about accepting, understanding, making accommodations, and celebrating neurodiversity. So you might see some posts up that have both, and I, like many people, are choosing to change my language to promote the values of neurodiversity in a better way. So that's mainly what I wanted to come to talk to you about today, was about what can we do if we are wanting to elevate and amplify autistic voices. And as a psychologist that works in this space, I'm aware that I'm not autistic. So there's this balance that I'm trying to strike in terms of being respectful of, allowing space for autistic voices to be heard. And on the other hand, I have a professional obligation to be wanting to support my families and clients and new people that may not have as much understanding about autism, to be really informed about what is, the most respectful, the most progressive way to be learning about autism and how I can improve what I do all the time. So I will put a couple of resources that have been compiled with this post, just because I think one of the most important ways in which you can do something on World Autism Acceptance Day is listen more to autistic voices. So I've put some resources together that have been written by or moderated by, so some Facebook groups and things like that, and different kinds of resources that might be useful, because they really are either completely done by autistic individuals, or they're very heavily involved in the making of. So I'll put them there, so that could be one thing that you could do if you're wanting to really celebrate, really promote acceptance, really push things forward in a really positive way. It's not just that awareness, it's about paying respects and really listening to autistic voices in this space. That's certainly what I do, and I'm listening all the time, and I'm trying to make changes with my language, trying to think about how the medical model in terms of how I've been trained in can be deconstructed, can be made differently, so that whilst we still want diagnosis to happen, because recognition is really helpful for people to have that term and have that label used in a really positive way, but removing the stigma in terms of some of the language, removing the barriers to having happiness and having your life goals be met. That's my ultimate kind of the why I do this. I want people to have as good a mental health as they possibly can, to have self-acceptance, self-love, but also know that changes and accommodations in our community need to happen for that progress to occur. So that's about getting people informed, getting people educated about the importance of what each individual can do in terms of making a more inclusive society, making a more respectful society, about neurodiverse differences of neurology, and how there is no one type that is better than the other. There is one type, being neurotypical, that is more common, but that doesn't make it better. In fact, that means we've got a bigger responsibility to make things more positive for people that have those differences, and be aware of those differences, and stop and think think before we make negative judgments about that. So that's all from me today. Thank you for being watching live. Like I said, I've got a little bit of some more information that I'm going to put with this post, so you can follow up with some of those resources or some of those people that are really amazing in this space that you might like to follow. Have a wonderful Easter weekend if I don't talk to you until then. Take care.